Hi everyone, we're going to evaluate the given integral whereby we're going to let x equal 2 tan of theta, and we're going to sketch and label the associated right triangle. So basically we have the integral of x cubed divided by square root of x squared plus 4, and that's dx. And we're supposed to let x equal 2 tan of theta. And that's in between, our integral is going to be in between negative pi divided by 2 and pi divided by 2. It's not written very well here. I need to redo that. So basically, what I want to do is look at this part right here. So if x is 2 tan of theta, this bottom part of the denominator here, if you square this, because we want x squared, that's going to be 4 tan squared of theta plus 4. So if you factor out the 4, you're going to get 4 times tan squared of theta plus 1. With your Pythagorean identities, this is going to be square root of 4 secant squared of theta. Now, you square root it, and you're going to get 2, an absolute value of secant, which just equals 2 secant theta. Because secant, remember, is 1 over cosine, and cosine is positive in quadrants 1. This is quadrants 1 and 4 that it's restricted in. So now we can do our substitution, and that's going to give us x cubed. So x cubed, we're going to cube this. If you cube it, you're going to get 8. 2 cubed is 8, so now we're cubing. So you're going to get 8 tan cubed of theta divided by 2 secant of theta. And then we've got to take the derivative of x. So if the derivative of x, if x equals 2 tan of theta, then dx is going to equal 2 secant of squared of theta. So our dx now turns into 2 secant squared of theta. So there's that part. Now we can cancel out the 2's here, and secant goes into secant squared 1 time. So this is going to leave us with secant of theta, d theta. So I should have put a d theta here. Sorry about that. Now we can simplify this further and pull out this 8. So pull out the 8. And I'm going to write my tan cubed as secant squared theta minus 1 times tan theta secant theta. So what that gives you is this. So what we're going to do now is use u substitution. And you use u substitution, you're going to let u equal secant of theta. Therefore, derivative of u equals secant theta tan theta d, whoops, sorry about that, d theta. I'll put it up there. So this should have been d theta here. So this part is just going to be your du. So when you use substitution, you're going to get 8, and this is going to be u squared minus 1, and this whole thing is just du. All right, so let's start with that. We have 8 times the integral of u squared minus 1 du. And that's where our u was secant of theta. Now, let's integrate. So that's going to give us 1/3 u cubed minus u plus c. Substitute back in your secant, and you get 8 times 1/3 secant cubed theta minus secant theta plus c. All right, now this will be, if you want to simplify this further, this would be 8/3 secant cubed theta minus 8 secant theta plus c. Now remember, we started with x, so what I'm going to do is draw my right triangle. Put my theta here and this. And remember, at the very beginning, we let x equal 2 tan of theta. So tan of theta equals x divided by 2, sorry. And remember, tan is opposite over adjacent. So let's plug in our x and our 2. So this would be opposite and adjacent is 2. When you use the Pythagorean theorem to get, let's just call this r, you're going to get x squared plus 2 squared equals r squared. So we get x squared plus 4 equals r squared, or r, and it has to be positive, it's going to be square root of x squared plus 4. So this is basically x squared, square root of x squared plus 4. So there's your triangle. Now we can simplify this further because we have to send it back. What we have is 8/3, and this is going to be cubed. Now secant of this, secant, remember, equals opposite of cosine. So this is going to be r divided by your adjacent. So this is going to end up being square root of x squared plus 4 divided by 2 cubed, and then write it again, square root of x squared plus 4 divided by 2 plus c. And if you want to simplify this, remember, if you cube the 2, that's going to be 8. So the 8's will cancel and you get 1/3. And I can write this as x squared plus 4 cubed, and then I'll just write it to the 3/2 for the square part. Minus, and then you divide these two, and that's 4. And then we're just going to write this as x squared plus 4 to the 1/2 plus c. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.